Hi, I'm Aaron Holstein, otherwise known as VibeSquaD. I have a new sample pack for all you producers out there, and it is called 2001 Snares. And it's exactly that, 2001 awesome snares. I'd like to show you some of them, so let's jump into the computer. Okay, quick demo of the 2001 Snares pack. In Ableton, I added the whole folder to my sample library, and then I added it to the places on the left side of the browser so I can access it really quickly. So here it is in my places. And it's just literally 2001 slightly different snares. So there's just an enormous amount of variety in here. Everything is pretty punchy and transient, and I'll tour you through some of them and then just kind of show you one of or a few of the ways, the many ways that you could apply them to your projects. They're all recorded 24-bit mono wave files, and that's because that's the easiest to work with in every situation, and by having the files mono, we're not dealing with any, stereo issues and phasing and all kinds of stuff. And like, I always feel like the stereo aspect of a sound should be a decision, that you make, and it should fit your project. And so these are like mono building blocks that you can easily turn into wide sounds if that's what you're going for. But it's harder to collapse wide sounds into really good, clean mono sounds, if you understand what I'm saying. So this direction, by having them be really punchy and mono, you're going to have no phase issues, totally useful snares that you can then put into any drum machine or sampler and add loads of processing and take it to a totally different place, but you're starting with a just a really clean mono signal here. So I'm just going to skip around. I mean, it's silly. There's 2,000 here. So as you can see, I just want you to see there's some variety. Some short, some long, some have different kinds of tails. So why did I make a snare library, being that there's just so many snares out there already? Because I usually have like snare packs where there'll be, one or two cool ones in there, and the rest of them I won't really end up using. But to have to constantly be surfing through other smaller libraries to find what I'm looking for, I just kind of like wanted like a million snares in one folder that were all good, that I could potentially use at any point, and then I could just sort of like browse through for the one that I liked at any particular moment and just get to work. It just saves me a lot of browsing. And I wanted to make the snares, like I found kind of a process for making snares that I like, and I wanted to just spend a whole day like cranking out a ridiculous amount of them. So I had them to work with myself. Really on a selfish level, I made this library for myself and figured I should share it with you guys, and it'd be a good value and something that you guys would want to have. So hopefully you enjoy these. Okay, so let me get them out of the browser and into a sampler instrument. So really quick and easy way to utilize these samples is to just drag them onto a MIDI channel in the area where you load up sounds or effects, and it will create a simpler. I want to go, if you right click on the top bar of the simpler, you can go simpler to sampler. And in the sampler, I quickly go turn off the filter and the envelope and turn up the volume so we can really hear it, and lessen the velocity so we can just really hear what's going on. We'll only need one voice at a time. Okay, now in the pitch oscillator page, right now it's a nice dry snare sound. So you could pitch it around somewhere else, right? And as you can hear, that nice and punchy. You can also add the second oscillator of the sampler, which is always fun. Just flipped it to AM and turned the type to noise and turned it up pretty loud, and now it sounds kind of like more of like a drum machine. Pitch envelope. By adding some of that to the front, turning the decay down, you get a lot of punch, really tight. By getting that pitch envelope attack, and then you could add that oscillator noise back in. So right here you can affect the stereo spread. So as I said, it was a completely mono signal, but if I increase the spread down here, it goes super wide. I'm a big fan of sampler. I really like sampler. So there's like a big old wide snare, still sharp attack. We don't even have the filters on. Turn a filter on just for a bit of drive, maybe. Switch to one of the other types, the shaper. So that's just like a whole bunch of different things that just happened there with just one of the 2001 snares. So let's say in this sample window, let me try something else here. I'm going to delete that. I'm going to create another sampler, but this time I'm going to pull in like the first 128 snares. And then I'm going to open the zone world, and they're all selected right now. So if I were to press a key, it would play every single one of these snares at the same time. So in order to make sure I don't bust our ears, I'm going to come over here and choose distribute ranges equally. And that just puts one drum on every key of the 128 available spots. So that's the most you can pull into one sampler. But this is a cool way to go if you want to program your snare, because you can just change the pitch if you want to change your sound. There's you can go a step further and do what Il Gates calls 128s that I learned from him a long time ago. And that's where you put this on a zone selector knob where you can select your snare. But for our purposes right now, I'm just creating a big old like snare. Okay, so wait, before I demo them for you more, go through, and now this will globally turn everything up. So these are all just dry. Okay, so I can go back over to the pitch envelope and add a bit of, yeah, descending pitch envelope to everything. See where I'm going with all that. And that didn't take into consideration some spreading for stereo. Or not. Or take that pitch envelope. So now they're just back to the raw samples. Just gonna pop a reverb on here. So they sound really nice, and there's like a ton of them. That's really all there is to this pack. It's really not that much to say, other than I hope you enjoy using it, and I hope you create a lot of fun music and all that good stuff. So I'm going to sign off here with a little more demoing of the... Here, I'm just going to zoom to a random place in the list, and I'll demo a few sounds here from the browser. You get the picture. There's like a lot of different types, lengths, styles, but it's a really quick one-stop folder for snare browsage. All right, you get the picture. Good luck out there.